The legends are true. What they say is true. I have fixed it. I fixed this box and it works 100, well not 100%, it works like 95%, but it does what we need it to do. So what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna show you guys here in a second that this thing works, but game plan for today. So I need to swing over to the shop this morning. I have a couple things that I need to drop off. I have the front seat bracket for the Evo, the air regulator for the powder coating gun, the rear Brembo kit because Matt had a spare one here that I kidnapped, the rear seats, and then a couple air fittings that I need to go drop off at the shop. The Radium fuel pump shows up tomorrow for the Evo. We're using one Walbro 450, so it has a second slot in there if we want to run two pumps in the future. We can. It's just I don't have a fuel pump hanger for that car, and I need one to obviously to hold a fuel pump, and I want to get it like sealed up, put back in, so I need to get fuel line on payday to be able to run the fuel line up to the engine bay, and then I can get those back seats in there in permanently. Then we're also going to get the front seats mounted in while we're at the shop dropping all this stuff off for the Evo, just because I haven't actually sat in that car with seats in it yet, so we're going to do that. We're going to jet back down here and we're going to start wiring this thing some more today. The game plan today for this car is to get the fuel pump wired in, as well as some of the other accessory wires, just to start getting things going. I want to start testing the CAN compatibility features between the Haltech and the OEM software to see what I can and can't get to work. Oh, I can get it. I can get all of it to work. But let me show you guys, like, this thing works 100% now. We're also gonna test something today because I am like 99.9% sure that starter down there will turn over by pushing the button. I'm almost 100% certain of it. So this can be a little bit difficult to show you guys right now because I'm like multiple weird angles and whatnot. So as you guys can see right now, the dash is off. If I come down here and I grab this button here, the stock button, I push it once, it goes into on mode. Push it again, it goes into accessory mode. If I push it again, it turns off. So we have that resolved. Now here's the other cool thing. If I come down here and I push this button, push it again, it goes into accessory mode. Right there, the button's orange. So you guys can see the button's orange right there. My foot is on the clutch. If I push the clutch all the way in, the button turns green as if I can start the car. So clutch in, button green, clutch out, button orange. Green, orange, green, orange, green, orange. So this is absolutely huge for us, you guys. There's a giant cluster of a mess down there of wiring that I need to clean up today also, but you guys, we're golden. Now I know what some of you guys are thinking, and you guys have commented this obviously. Tanner, what the fuck was the problem with the Subaru? Why was it doing all this? I don't know. I don't know, okay? So I was going through, we were looking at a ton. Like I said, I've been living in the FSM, which is the field service manual for this car, all the wiring diagrams, all the wiring documents for this thing, going in pin by pin by pin by pin by connector by connector by connector, seeing what needs to be, like, what am I missing something? What's going on? Why is nothing recognizing? Now the big problem with this car that I ran into, and if any of you have this problem at any point, so first of all, if you're going through and you're disassembling electrical things like this, 100% you need to make sure every single ground is there for the car, or else it's going to throw fits like you guys saw. So we had all of our grounds on there. The ECU was grounded, the fuse box was grounded, all the wiring harness grounds were grounded. Now, like you guys know, I don't have airbags in this car, so the airbags do not play a factor in initial power up and power down of the car. That is not at all part of the power up sequence. However, the SRS module, that little yellow box that sits by your shifter, is part of the CAN system. So you 100% need that yellow box there to be able to communicate with everything else. We were not able to power the car off for months. For literal months. And what I was doing whenever I was doing it is I would flip the circuit breaker on, the car would power on, I'd be like, all right, what the hell is the problem? What the hell's going wrong? Whenever I'd go to troubleshoot wiring, I'd turn the circuit breaker off so that way it would force the car into an off position. Now I left the car on for about 8 hours with the key inside of the car, and maybe it just needed an extended period of time to be able to reinitialize all the modules and recommunicate fully with everything in there. Now, like I said, there's still things that don't work. ABS light comes on, headlight light comes on, but that's my fault because I have a headlight unplugged. VDC comes on, but yet I still have DCCD, which is a little bit interesting on that one. So, massive strides of progress, you guys. Absolutely massive strides of progress. That means we can continue to push forward with this car because I don't need some of the OE features that are integrated into the engine of the EJ25. We're not using those. We're only using the EG33. The standalone is going to control the engine. The stock ECU is going to control the car. So that's how we're doing this. We're running 2 ECUs in the car. It sounds a little weird, I know, but it's what we're gonna do. So, yeah, the problem was I don't know. I went through there, I unplugged some modules, I replugged them in, I did a captive discharge on the battery before it could have been the captive discharge also that helped. So you take off the battery terminals. Matt was explaining this to me. I didn't even know this was a thing. To take off the battery terminals, you put the positive to the negative for about 10 minutes or so. That drains all the modules of all power. Then I reinitialized it back on the battery, and that's when I let it sit for 8 hours. So it could have been the captive discharge that woke everything up, with the fact that we forced the car to stay in the on position for so long. I'm sure with like SSM4 or like correct software, you could do it in like an instant. We don't have access to that. Not legitimate OEM SSM4 software, but doesn't matter. The car works at this point. We are clear to proceed with our engine swap and getting this car started. So I still don't have an anticipated date of when it's supposed to work, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's go run to the shop. Let's go drop off this Evo stuff. Let's put a seat in the 2 seats in the Evo, and we'll get back here and start wiring. All right, you're gonna see the top. You ain't gonna see the bottom. I got all the jizz stains off, dude. And you can sit on them without having fear of somebody else's semen on them. Matt's gonna have fun at work today, you guys. Also, somebody said they wanted more driving videos. As you guys know, the only running car I have right now is the Golf. If you guys want driving videos, I'll give you some driving videos on the Golf R. I still have the downpipe sitting for it right over there. I did get the tools I need to be able to do it. I'm just trying to find the time. Then we're gonna get the downpipe on that thing and start ripping this thing around a little bit more until that clutch screams for help. Gunther, you're doing good today, man. It's a good day. It's so nice out. Where's Eva? Show me Eva. Eva. So I don't want to be here too long at the shop just because I want to mainly focus on the STI today. I also forgot my big tripods. So we're going to improvise. I'm going to get the Sparcos pulled out of the car. We're going to start with the driver's side, get the driver's side bolted up, get it back in the car, get it bolted down to the actual frame of the car or the actual like floor, whatever you want to call it. Same thing with the passenger side. And then I kind of want to powder coat this valve cover now that I'm here, but I might save that for a different day. I don't know. Let's get this stuff pulled out of here. I swear, this air fitting better fit on that thing or else I'm gonna lose my mind. Brembo rebuild kit. I actually need these right now. That can go right there. This can go on the rack. Let's get this seat bolted together. Kind of sucks that I forgot the stuff at the house, or the big tripod at the house, but it's all right. Not the end of the world. Evo smells a little weird. Hello, driver's seat. Don't believe that, everything lines up. As I would hope it would, because it's a Sparco everything for the driver's side. You know, it doesn't have to be like this, but sometimes it'd be like this. I really don't have any bolts for this. I gotta have bolts. Why does this car have to literally be missing friggin' everything, huh? Why? Like every single time I go to do something with you, Evo, you're telling me you're missing more and more stuff. It doesn't mean I don't love you, because I do. But, my friend, come on. Once again, I'm missing crap for the Evo, and it's the dumbest things. Every time I come here, I have no bolts to mount the seats in. So because I have no bolts to mount the seats in, I'm still gonna get the seat brackets on them and get it. Like I found 2 bolts to be able to like temporarily bolt this driver's seat in. I have no bolts for the passenger side, so I'm just gonna order like an assortment of bolts to keep here at the shop to be able to like do this stuff. But at least I can sit in the Evo in an actual seat now and not have to like sit on the floor or anything like that. So I'll get that assortment of bolts ordered. It's dumb. It's dumb, dude. It's always something stupid with this car. Why is this vent broken? Bro, why is everything gotta be broken? Why is everything freaking broken in here, dude? Buy an old shipbox Evo, man. It'll be a great idea. It'll be so smart. It'll be so smart. That literally says front left on it. This was missing and somebody replaced. Oh my god, dude. Hey, dude, I didn't know the Evo had a taco holder. You can put your tacos up here. That's dope. How do these look? I haven't actually like sat in here. How does this open? Oh, hello. You know what? It's progress nonetheless. That's all that matters. It's a 2004. It's not gonna be perfect, but The dash looks okay, I guess. No. Let's get this other seat bracket bolted on. I'm just gonna time lapse this one because I gotta drill some holes to be able to get everything to line up on it. So let's get some holes drilled for that one and get that seat like temporarily put in here too, I guess, since I don't have friggin' seat brackets, bolts. So I went ahead, I got the seats mocked up in there. Like I said, I'm missing the hardware that holds the seats down. I got the back seats temporarily put in too. I was gonna dip out and then just go work on the Subaru, but I do want to powder coat this valve cover real quick because I really want to see what this color looks like. So we're just gonna do this valve cover real quick. It doesn't take long. Actually, I don't want to feel rushed, so I'm not going to do the valve cover today. We'll come back on Sunday and I'll powder coat all the stuff in here. I don't want to feel rushed as I'm powder coating all this stuff and then get like a half-ass finish on it, you know what I mean? So we'll just do it Saturday. We'll do it Sunday. No big deal. No big deal. I need to figure out bolts for those Evo seats, but let me show you. Like, they came out, like, they look good in there. So we've got the driver and passenger seat temporarily mocked up in here. They don't look bad. They do sit a little bit close. This one is on sliders, so I can move it back and forth. I don't have sliders for the passenger side, so if you ride passenger in this car, you don't get to move your seat. I also got the back seats just set in here right now. I need to get all of this out anyways to be able to do the fuel pump on Sunday when we come back. For the passenger side, once the fuel pump's in, I can permanently bolt these seats in, and then I don't have to, actually no, I'm gonna have to temporarily put them back in because we're, are those seat bolts? Is that a seat bolt? Are there bolts in the door up there? What are these go to? What does this go to? Hold up. Those were the seat bolts in there. So I've got both of the seats actually bolted down now. They look good, they feel great. And then back here, I also was able to find the bolts for the rear backing. So this is bolted in as well. This is just set in here so that way I can still get access down there. But that's all I'm gonna do on the Evo today. I just wanted to get those seats bolted in, just one less thing sitting around, one less thing of parts to play with and move around off that rack over there. So now this is done, let's go jet back to the house and go start working on the STI, because this, I'm just gonna allocate all of Sunday for you, so that way we can powder coat all of that, and whatever else we got to powder coat, and we'll work on those wheel bearings. So back down at the house, I grabbed some lunch on my way because I have this real problem, and don't be like me about this. I have this problem where whenever I'm working, I like forget to eat, and then I get like stupid hungry by the end of the day. So grab some food. Now we're gonna start wiring in the fuel pump for the Subaru. The fuel pumps are already installed, so we have a Radium dual fuel pump hanger in there with two AEM 340 liter, no, they're two Walbro 450s. So we have a lot of fuel flow that this engine's gonna be capable of doing. But before we start wiring anything in, I wanna test something. Damn it, dude, I forgot this car locks now. Ah! Yeah! This still gets me every time. I can unlock my car, can you? That was a stupid question, don't answer that. So first up, I need to test this wire right here. So this is actually the positive for the fuel pump. So I need to go ahead, get this guy off. I am gonna depin some of these right here because some of these are going to be reused for this, such as like fuel level sensor, things like that. And then I'll splice that into the Haltech so that way we can read fuel level sensor off of the stock dash if we want to, or off of the Haltech. So let me grab my power probe here. And let's test this guy. Make sure we got power going to this. Maybe I need a stronger ground. Why wouldn't I be getting power? Dear Lord, now I kind of wish that I didn't put that thing all back together. Bing! Bro, I know, I can hear you. All of these old wires, I'm gonna go ahead and take off of here. So those are all just small little 8 mils that I can pull off. Bing! I literally hear you right now, okay? Dude, it's so mad at me. So I've got all the diagrams printed out here. This is the setup that we're doing from Radium. Now, this trigger for the fuel pump is going to be our 12-volt source. So if we come over here, we look at this orange and yellow wire, this will be to positive side of fuel pump. So that's what these are. These are the positive 12 volts. So both of these blue wires that come off here and on this relay here will meet up with our Haltech's orange and yellow wire, which will be the 12-volt source. Now, I also have this printed out just for the configuration of the fuel level sensor, because I am going to get that wired to the stock cluster, and I'm going to get that wired to the Haltech. I'm not going to be wiring that part to the Haltech today, but we're going to be knocking out as much of this as we can. So we're going to start out by grounding out the fuel pumps to the chassis. So they want a chassis ground. They don't want a battery ground on those ones. So I'm going to run all of these chassis grounds to the exact same spot where I normally run them on pretty much all of the other grounds that we have going in here. There's a chassis ground underneath of that rear seat back there. So let me get the grounds made up for this. Let's get them in here, and then let's get the fuel pumps grounded out, and then we'll find a spot for our relays here and our fuses here. So here we have our ground cable for the battery, or for the fuel pump. So I've got one single lug on this side for the grounds for both fuel pumps. That is going to ground to the chassis. I still have to do one more ground for the relays. This will go to fuel pump number 1. That will go to fuel pump number 2. I wanted to put the grounds on a different harness than I was going to on power, so that way if I need to troubleshoot anything, if there's a problem, it's a lot easier to access things. Plus building harnesses, with this being my first car that I'm building all of these harnesses for, this is a learning process for me, but I feel like I'm getting a lot better with it. So I'm sheathing everything nicely. I'm using double wall heat shrink on that stuff. Same with down here. So we have heat shrink on that side of the connector. Dude, it's so hard to focus on these. So we have heat shrink on that side of the connector, as well as all the terminals. So let me get this installed real quick temporarily, and then we'll jump over to doing the power stuff. We're gonna find a home for the relays and for the fuses for the fuel pump, since we are running 2 of them. So next up, we'll get a home for this guy, that guy, and then both of those orange fuses.
Microphone check, make it a microphone check. Give it a microphone, I make it a microphone dead. Don't step to me, newbie, I could truly be moody. I could have played the fucking Grinch in the movies. I've been a part-time shadow cat, part-time. That is not a guy that I would ever want to try to battle rap. Snap, crackle, pop, mind fried to a crisp, make an MC into a wide-eyed lunatic.
So I've got most of the harness made up back here. Next up, I need to do the fuse locations, and I've figured out where I want to put these. So I already have a couple pre-existing holes right here from something in the past. It may have been when I was on bags. So I'm just gonna put a riv nut in those so it becomes a threaded hole. So I can just screw these guys down right there, and then I can connect them straight up to the circuit breaker. So that way I don't have to connect anything to the battery. I don't have to like really extend these. I just gotta put a terminal and crimp it on. And then the other end will extend out to our relays up there. And then our wiring for the fuel pump is done. Sorry, all the dogs are like barking right now. So I've got all of the positive terminals put on here. They will go to the fuel basket. I've got our 12-volt relay signal here that goes to the relays. That's gonna go to our Haltech wiring right there. And then I've got the ground, which will ground out underneath of there as well. So let me get these threaded inserts put into the trunk, and then we can get these relays, or these fuses screwed down.
Yo, give it a stage in a minute, I'ma eat you. El profesor is in the house, let me teach you. I could defeat you with 2 hands tied and have you waking in the hospital like, who am I? And who are you? Who are they? What is this? You wouldn't believe how someone react to this shit. The mind slipping, speaking in tongues. Fly ink, GVA, that's how we get it done. 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 Fly ink, GVA, that's how we get it done.
So we've got the entire fuel pump system hooked up at this point. So we've got fuse 1, fuse 2, relay 1, relay 2 up there. It's connected up to the battery. If we fold the seat down a little bit, kaplunk, we have it grounded to the chassis right there. That's just where I've been using all the chassis grounds. It's where the battery grounds and the chassis grounds. So it's a pretty good spot for grounds. Then next up, I figured I'd show you guys this before I close it all up. So we do have positive to fuel pump 1 and 2, ground to fuel pump 1 and 2, as well as the fuel level sensor. So I'm kind of curious. I don't think it will. I also have the Haltech wiring plugged in right there. So I'm pretty sure that the Haltech needs to be set up before the fuel pump primes, but I'm gonna go try it real quick. Or worst case scenario, what it pushes or it turns on the fuel pump real quick. So I don't think it's gonna work, but we're gonna find out. So, although our gas light stopped blinking, so our fuel level sensor is plugged in now. So at least we don't have a blinking light there. We are definitely out of gas though. Fuel level low, hey! Hell yeah, boy! Another thing working. Yeah, I can hear the relays flick on back there, so that's good. So I want to turn that off. Okay, stop beeping real quick. Oh yeah, if your car's beeping and you want to turn off, I'll turn it off. So if you guys can hear back there, the relays click on whenever I turn on power for the fuel pumps. Click. Click. So our fuel pump is wired in. I'm pretty sure that fuel pump setup just needs to be set up in the Haltech now to be able to prime the fuel pump. So I don't want to prime the fuel pumps right now anyways, because I don't want to run them dry and there's nothing in there. But I did hear all of our relays click on back here, which is good. That means our relays are grounded. That means they're getting power when they're supposed to be. They're only turning on when the Haltech sees 12 volts, and then it sends it up into the relay. And then from there, the relay goes, it clicks, it does its thing, and then everything is good. So that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. We have our fuel pumps wired into the car and they are integrated with the Haltech. That is muy positive. So temporarily got the back seats thrown back in, well, the lower portion of the back seat thrown back in. I still need to get all these like trim panels back here in, but now that I've got the fuel pump wired in, I can actually get all of these trim panels back in, back here, because there shouldn't be any more wires that I need to run to the back of the car. So I think in the next video, we'll get all of that wired in. What is that? What is this? What is happening right here? Oh, it's a piece of Velcro. So I think in the next video, we'll get those trim panels put back in, but it's massive. Our relay works, our fuel pump works. So that's solid, that's great, that's fantastic. We're gonna have to tackle all of this in the next video as well to start cleaning up that. And I got another wire harness in that I wanna swap out anyway. So this is the front half of the wire harness that goes from the fuse box to the headlights and everything like that. So I'm gonna get this swapped out as well, get this put in the car. It's just to keep the CAN communication system happy. So I'm just gonna get it put in the car. It should be relatively simple, straightforward to get back in. So the old one that I hacked up will come out, this new one will go in, should all be hunky-dory. So we've made massive strides of progress today getting that fuel pump wired in. That's one less thing that we have to do. That pretty much takes care of the entire back half of the car. I can pretty much get everything from the back half reassembled at this point. The relay switch on, the fuel pump controller is wired in. I need to get a cheap laptop to be able to just do tuning with this Haltech, to be able to access features to make sure things work like fuel pump priming and whatnot. I've been keeping the car on a battery tender right now to ensure that the battery does not die on us again, to make sure that we avoid all of the potential issues. In the next video, we are gonna start, in the next STI video I should say, because the next video is going to be an Evo video of powder coating a lot of that stuff. But in the next STI video, we are going to clean up that rat's nest of wiring that I have down there in the footwell, just to start getting a lot of things taken care of. Then we're going to start moving into the Haltech stuff to start getting the Haltech wired into the engine. And then at that point, we should be getting ready, or be getting very close to a first start, or at least a first turnover or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there, but massive progress. So if you guys like the video, if you guys are excited for what's going on, I don't know. If you guys like the video, just like the video, you know what to do. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to see that 6-cylinder turd of an STI over there run, go ahead and hit that button. One of these corners. No idea which one it'll be in quite yet, but it'll be in one of them. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, wait a minute. If you guys want, no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but just peace out, homies. You guys know the drill.